Hello, Internet. Welcome to Making Money. My name's Eric, and this is your Daily Dollar, our financial segment where I give you one lesson every day to help you on your financial journey. We're talking about something kind of big today, something kind of core to who you are, how you make decisions, and how you're going to be able to complete your financial goals. This is something that is different for each person, but will dictate not only what you are deciding to choose as your financial goal, what financial path you're going down, but also how you can succeed quicker or better in your terms of success. Today, our lesson is define your values. So you've probably heard values discussed before. You probably have some idea of what values are. You probably have seen a BuzzFeed quiz at some point where you can go find out what your 5 values are, or number 1 value is. The biggest question is, what are values? At the end of the day, values are the principles that we live by. They're what allow us to persevere through adverse conditions. They're core to who we are as people. They're ideas and aspects that literally, whether you realize it or not, are how you make decisions. It's how you prioritize, and it's also your measure of success in a way. Depending on what your values are, really depends on, what you want out of life, what you want on this financial journey of yours, and how you're going to measure that success. Values can answer a ton of questions for us. They can answer or dictate if you're going to take a new job, if you're going to go for a promotion. They can dictate whether you'll stay firm on a decision or you're willing to compromise. All of these things are dictated by your values. So when we say choosing your values, it's not so much saying, I want to be this, or I want to try to achieve to be more family-oriented or active or adventurous, or there's thousands and thousands of values. There are some lists that are a little bit more boiled down. There's a few standard lists of values that you can find. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is identify what your values are. What are the values that are already set in your head, whether you realize it or not? Identifying your values definitely requires a bit of emotional intelligence. And as you determine your values and you learn to live by your values and you understand how your values interact or dictate your decisions, you actually build more emotional intelligence. You understand yourself better. You understand how your mind works. So today we're going to be talking about 2 ways that you can determine what your values are, and then a little bit about how you can use your values going forward on your financial journey. So the first and probably most common is the introspective way of doing this. And normally this takes the form of going online. You can Google values, lists of values, and then you take a look at that list and you pick out the 5 or 6 that mean the most to you. Normally when you take a class or you're going through some sort of course that details values, or a lecture or something like that, this will basically what they'll have you do. They'll have you take a look at a list of values and determine for yourself what means most to you. You'll be drawn to certain keywords. For myself, creativity, problem solving, improvement, these are all core values for me. And when I see them on a list of other words, I'm drawn to these specific values because they mean something to me. So this kind of allows you to identify, okay, what is meaningful to you just by looking at a list of words, basically. You can take the introspective step even further. You can identify times when you were happy with the outcome of a situation, or maybe not so much happy with the outcome of the situation. And you can determine what about that situation were you not happy about? What would have made that situation better? Or on the other side, what did you really like about that outcome? And identifying what you see as a successful exchange or situation can really help you identify what your values are. If you were able to work with people and you were really happy to be able to do that, well, that may allude to some of your values, or at least one or two. So that's kind of the looking inside, the introspective. There's also an outward looking way of doing this. And it's a little bit, I don't want to say not used, but it's a little less used than the introspective kind. Because when we think of values, we think of looking in ourselves because we're trying to find what the core values are to us. So we're trying to look inside when we do this. Another way you can do it, and this will work better for some people, is if you actually identify people who are important to you, people that you really love, or people who you find really engaging, something that you are connected to this individual, right? And then identify what it is about that person that makes you so connected. What do you value in that person? And the funny thing is that when you identify that, you're actually identifying something about how you perceive that person. Even though you're identifying something about them, you're really identifying something about yourself. So this is another great way, and it's kind of not used as much, but if you have a tough time looking in, looking outward can also be a great way. So yeah, values are more or less pretty easy to identify because they're so core to who we are. Some people will have, in my opinion, a wider range of values. I think everybody tries to boil down their values to maybe 4 or 5 or 6 so they can be like, these are my values, this is what I stand by. But you may have a gambit of values. You may have 1 or 2 that are really key to you, and that's okay. Identifying what is important to you is what matters here, not trying to fit some norm of, okay, I need 5 values. So once you've identified your values, how can you use these moving forward? Well, easily put, if you identify, again, for me, creativity is a very important thing, right? So if I'm looking at my financial journey, right, I want to make sure that there's something that's going to fulfill that creative side of me. If there's something like these videos that I'm doing now that I can do in my financial journey that allows me to be creative, well, then that's excellent. When I get further in my journey, I'll feel more fulfilled just because I've had a chance to kind of flex that value of mine. So trying to find ways to pepper in or even make the ultimate goal of your financial journey something that targets one of your values or multiple of your values is a great way, because one, it's going to drive you forward to want to do that more. You're going to want to get there. But also when you get there, you'll feel so much more, you'll feel really happy with the outcome. And I find that this is huge, especially when you're first starting off and your goals are a little smaller, and we're talking about maybe goals that can be accomplished in, a month or 2 as opposed to multiple years, because you're allowing yourself to feel success. And that's huge. That mindset is big when you're going on a financial journey. So we'll get more into the psychology of success at another video. But today, identify those values. Go out there, find a list, or think about some people that you really value and determine what is core for you. As always, I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you are, feel free to like it. I've got my Twitter down below, so feel free to check me out there. If you are enjoying this series, feel free to subscribe. And I would love to hear what some of your values are in the comments below. It'd be really interesting. I've got a few others besides creativity, problem solving, and improvement myself, which I might throw down there too. But as always, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and best of luck in your financial journey. All right, bye.